Kilatanaka, Kula Tanaka, Nayan Sutimash, Norman Valdez, Nayaha Walipunyu, Kusisha, Humakanampi Kasishwa. Um, I just spoke the foreign language, right? Does anybody know what I just said? And by any chance, I can't see anybody, obviously. Anybody in the crowd understood any of what I just said? Well, it would be very surprising, perhaps, if we did, because this is the native language from southern Peru. It's called Aymara, and it's estimated that it's around 1500 years old. Can anybody guess what other language spoken in Canada that's official language is also as old as Aymara? French and English, right? We only have two options. Official language. Which French or English is the same as Aymara, 1500 years old, 1500. So the answer is English. It's as old as English itself. So I say that because I'm very proud of my indigeneity, and as such, I appreciate the perspective that it brings me, having been raised by my parents who are both Aymara. But a little bit about me, I think I need to say. So officially, yes, Norman Valdez, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of an organization called Brain Trainer. You see the logo there on the bottom right. And that is a nonprofit that wants to democratize access to AI education, specifically to serve underrepresented and marginalized communities, many of which among them indigenous communities will be one of those groups. There will be newcomers, there will be um, African Canadian communities, etc. We like to focus on them because we think they are at most risk of falling behind when it comes to the digital and AI scaling that is needed right now. The other hat that is relevant here is Emerging Technology Fellow for Community Financial of Canada. And we have a big vision to be the convener of other organizations in the social impact sector to come under one roof and then facilitate ways in which you can actually cluster around the same kinds of issues that we are already encountering. And it's not around AI, of course. I'm talking about around AI because, of course, we're going through several transformations already, other than AI these days, right? There's the environment, there's so many other things. So, but what we would like to see is, how much of what we understand within the current transformation that is AI can we draw upon, because it's a sort of a new thing, and then from that understanding, see how AI can actually be the opportunity to give us solutions rather than actually be part of the problem, and also so that because we are not sure about it, we may actually contribute to the potential harm, not potential, but like real harm that AI actually has, and then not just for us to harm ourselves with it, but also the potential to harm the society that we live in. Be it, just think about the environment, for example, right? More AI capability demands more power consumption because the compute requires power, and power gets generated by, among many things, building fossil fuels, which is adds to the severity of what we're going through, right? Somebody said before about the summer was pretty hot. Yes. We're about to go into this huge jump in AI where the companies are wanting to create this autonomous agent and reach what is called this AGI, when like you can give pretty much 100% autonomy. Right now, you can't really do that. And it's very much human guidance. But these companies, like, I want to get there. So anyways, I'm gonna get started. My presentations are usually a combination of I'm trying to introduce something, but what I hope you get from my presentation is pretty much the last part of my presentation, and I'm gonna try to speed through so that I can play a 3 minute of a 6 minute video that I've done about this amazing city planning, sustainable, indigenous, rooted solution, collaborative solution that I would like to say, everything that I'm going to share is going to lead to why this is a good example of what you folks here can actually evaluate as a way to think about city building, city planning. But I'm gonna get started. So first of all, what I'm sharing here is it's not a conventional browser. This is called an AI browser called Comet. It's run by Perplexity. What that means is that I have an AI assistant that is embedded within my usual interface. So now I have this button called Assistant built in within the browser. And then I can say, what are you seeing here? And so because it's within the same window, it can make suggestions that are embedded and also pulling from resources. As you can see, it's your viewing AI for certain. So it means that the AI assistant uh, AI browser has the capacity to do. And I can show you like, it can take control of your browser and it can go open things up and save things. So it's like this concept of autonomy is coming, but um, that's seems great. But there's a downside as well. So if you follow the news, uh, AI browsers have been shown to open up vulnerabilities because now there is a different kind of data collection that we're talking about where AI is actually part of the browser. So it's like when you fill out forms, when you do things, everything you do, right? Banking, everything you do, right? If AI is embedded in a browser, it can open vulnerabilities to the data now in the way which is collected, and that could lead to identity theft and other bad things that that vulnerability is open. No, it's a concept of cybersecurity. So anyways, I'm gonna get right into it because I can really get caught up, and I'm so ambitious with my slides. So I'm gonna fly through, but primarily just the point here is more towards the end. So this is just the setup to it. I always start my presentation talking about AI to explain that what we're living right now is not a new thing. AI has been thought of for decades, right? So as of right before ChatGPT, we had Alexa, Siri, and Google Home, all of those devices. And that's the AI that we already had been probably more exposed before ChatGPT. Now, what is different about this current iteration of artificial intelligence, which is the capacity to have a machine do a task that in the past would be a human would do, is this thing. And I always want to draw how important this concept is, the concept of the GPT part of the chat, which in some senses is sort of like a virtual brain that has been created, which if they continue to go into the scaling up of these technologies, all of the players right now in the AI race, in the corporate AI race, is to get to AGI, so that 100% autonomy. And so they're all banking on like scaling capability leading to AGI, and then of course artificial super intelligence, which is AGI now multiply, and then we're talking about intelligence of maybe quite a bit of people. 5 minutes left, okay. And then that leads to all different kinds of terms, which is like I say it's basic, but I do think that the increment of understanding that maybe previously we didn't need to understand, we didn't need to. Now I think it's more so we need to, because this is a new technology, this is a new thing, a new paradigm, and we need to recognize it as being a paradigm. At the center of this Gen AI explosion, we had an innovation that is to create artificial neural networks, which is something that professor that I did machine learning class in U of T, because he's from U of T as well, got the Nobel Prize in physics for his contribution to that innovation. And that is the explosion that we're living today, where AI can be used for very, very big things, very big, what I call giant use cases, like the one that Evergreen. I would also consider this as a big use case of AI of greatest impact. But in this one, AI was used to discover new geoglyphs in Peru, and just watching my time. And then you have the small use cases, right? Now the problem is like, how do you do all of this? I'm gonna just skip through this whole thing so that I can get to not this. And that sort of topic of what I was showing you is a way to like really see what is behind technology and what is different about the technology that we have today. Because as technology becomes more within our lives, as AI becomes more integrated, we need to understand how our relationships to it change so that we can actually take action. So several authors like Vanessa and Andrea already talked about the burnout for humans. concepts of looking at the way that the society is actually contributing to our burnout, because we always talk about different kinds of burnouts. I'm
Leaders
gonna
across.
skip this. I'm gonna skip that. And then the rhetoric that we watch in the political landscape is that there's been a erosion of concepts of EDI and things like that, equity and workforce development. I'm going to skip that. So this is just a representation of huge labor market transformations affected by AI, where some millions of jobs are going to be destroyed, some of them are going to be replaced, and some fundamentally completely change. And getting an idea of the roles that are going to be appearing or disappearing. But where we come into the picture as Community Foundation of Canada is trying to ensure that we have an ecosystem that is complete, where we have representation of the social impact sector, drawing multiple sectors and multiple social impact organizations also in all senses to work together. And this is where we're heading into to create this umbrella body and always be on the side of being predictive, coming together as a collaborative, be a solution, because we're living in these times where AI is being seen as a as a weapon, right? Like it's being seen as the way that in the when we had the nuclear race, we're on the same sort of like mindset right now. Like just recently, you had some dinner at the White House with the tech people, and there's things that are just happening, that are that could change, that could lead to further transformation. Of course, we know in all of this news about what's happening in LA and Chicago, and like the deportations that Trump is doing, and how that actually would could lead to huge change in the numbers of people that are going to be actually coming, asking to be refugees, applying for asylum, and then the government. 1 minute. The government is considering this bill called Bill C2, which among it actually suggests using AI tools to screen potential applicants, because they are actually seeing that this influx of new people are going to be coming. And so the main thing that I would like to share with you, and unfortunately I can't play the video now because I don't have the time for that, is this concept of seven gen cities. And so I don't mix it up. I'm gonna just take my notes here of what I wanted to say about it. And with this, I'm going to close. Seven Gen Cities is a new collaborative dedicated to transforming urban futures through generative decolonial, decolonial lens, inspired by the Hanishinaabe seventh generation principle, which emphasizes a long-term decision making for future generations as initiative seeks to create cities that are just caring and generative for all habitats, including more than human dwellers, and so on. And so the main I had a video that I was going to show you, but that principle of being generative to being not reactive but proactive, and then really infusing different ways perspective like the indigenous perspectives into the way that we assimilate this technology. It's a principle that responsible AI goes very much in line with just being very balanced, but like we need this principles thinking about sustainability, about AI and transparency and all of these different things, because otherwise we're just setting ourselves up for AI not actually being an opportunity but more of a harm.